tribute to the two young victims of last month's
A massive car bomb exploded outside of a large federal building in downtown.
died in a speeding car in Paris, apparently trying to evade.
Investigation into the high school massacre is slow-moving and dangerous. The two gun...
A massacre of 4 college students in the middle of the night. So horrific.
Officers to come to 6 Riverside Drive. Call is transporting victim to North Hollywood Medical Center.
February 28th, 1997. What you're seeing is an actual movie scene. I'm joking. This is an actual bank robbery that you're witnessing right now, in which 2 bank robbers are encouraging cops to open fire. The North Hollywood Shootout. This is a recreational documentary talking about the North Hollywood Shootout, length by length and in depth, which we'll ask, why did it happen? Why was there only a little bit of tragedy, and what is still left for the Los Angeles Police Department, who were heavily outnumbered on that day? In which I will ask you the question, in which we will ask how, what, and why there were cops and robbers. February 28th, 1997. There, hell will break loose. The North Hollywood Shootout was a violent shootout that happened between 2 bank robbers and 200 cops that happened on February 28th of 1997 in Laurel Canyon Boulevard in North Hollywood, Los Angeles, California, in which during this shootout, 2 bank robbers, Larry Phillips Jr. and Emil Matasarinu, broke into the Bank of America, stole millions, and ended up having a gunfight with the police. This is Emil Matasarinu, a Romanian immigrant turned US citizen. And this is his partner, a skilled con man, Larry Phillips Jr., in which we'll tell you what happened. Both men met at Gold's Gym. Matasarinu was born with a heart condition, barely making him overweight. Phillips is the son of a con man, and well, he is by blood. Right now, these 2 are partners in crime over the shared love of weapons and robbery and crime. The 2 suspects in this bank robbery were very troubled and they were very messed up. The first of the suspects is the youngest, Larry Eugene Phillips Jr. His grandfather was an outlaw, and his father was a grave robber, in which Phillips, when he was younger, he became a real estate agent, and in the meantime, he would pull small property scams to his customers. Then he decided he will become a bodybuilder, and he enlisted in Gold's Gym. This is where he met his partner in crime, Deshbal Stefan Emilian Matasarinu, aka Emil Matasarinu, a Romanian immigrant. He got bullied for his weight, and well, he decided to become a bodybuilder. Emil was the oldest among the 2. Right now, the Bank of America is already open. It's now salary day as it's Friday, and well, all of the bank vaults are filled with extra payday cash for the workers. But in the meantime, the misfits were driving to the Bank of America in a white Chevrolet Celebrity from 1987, and well, they eventually arrived at the bank, and then it happened.
This is a holdup! Get down! Get down on the ground! This is a robbery! If you move, I will gun you down! I swear to God! If you move, I'll gun you down!
In the preparations for the Bank of America raid, Emil and Phillips, Matasarinu and Phillips took phenobarbital, a drug that is used for medical purposes, in which they used it to calm their own nerves. In the preparations following, They put on body armor, wore all black, and put on ski masks. In their outfits, they had watches they had sewn wallets onto their outfits in which they set the time, in which the time was 44 minutes for the escape, and the calculated amount of money was tens and hundreds of millions in dollars, in which underneath of the outfits, the robbers were wearing homemade bulletproof Kevlar. Phillips then threatens manager John Villagrana, or Juan Villagrana,
Open the goddamn vault!
in which Villagrana refuses, and well, eventually,
Do it now!
with a broken mind, Villagrana opens the vault, in which, unfortunately, the money was, well, less calculated, and the police began to grow outside. The robbers then pressured John Villagrana, a manager, to open the vault, even though the vault required 2 keys. And when they opened the vault, it was less. The robbers originally hoped for $750,000, even though it was less than that. In which Matasarenu and Phillips, both enraged that they needed more money. And keep in mind, there were ATMs in the time. Every single vault door, every single blah blah blah, any vault that you can think of in a bank, it was less than the amount of money that they expected. But however, among the sneaking cash, Phillips and Matasarenu were unable to detect 3 IBNSs, aka the Intelligent Banknote Neutralization System, also known in police and bank slang as a die pack. And among the die packs, there were $303,305.
I'll gun you down! Hands up!
In the meantime,
I don't want you to even
Matasarenu
think about
is
calling the
currently
police.
telling the
Hands
hostages,
up! This is a robbery!
well,
This is a stick
to
up!
get down on the ground.
This is a hold up!
And he even threatens not to call the police.
Hands up!
Eventually, he tells everyone to move to the vault.
Now what I want you to do is stand up and walk to the vault!
But unknowingly, the police presence was growing. And, well, Phillips, already full, well...
Be advised, I think somebody just came out of the front door of the Bank of America.
Phillips steps out of the bank, but in the meanwhile, at a nearby key shack, detectives and police officers were hiding. And...
Emil, let's move! Now!
Phillips had returned, and well, he reloaded. He then opens fire. It's just about a few minutes before Phillips can open fire. The police are there, waiting. And in the end, Sergeant Larry Dean Haynes was the first casualty. The Bank of America then got surrounded by a squadron of police officers, in which the first responding officers then immediately said, "Shots fired," in which Division Patrol and in which the additional North Hollywood Patrol and detectives immediately arrived at the scene. Some of the following names included Sergeant Dean Haynes, Officers Martin Whitfield, James Zaborfan, Stuart Guy, and detectives William Krulak and Tracy Angeles. And well, among the police officers, there was a police helicopter, flown by Charles Paraguay Jr. And well, he was flying above the scene. Phillips continues to open fire at the following cops, but he doesn't know that James Zaborfan, another police officer, fired 2 shotgun blasts. Phillips then fires at the direction of Zaborfan, and Zaborfan immediately ducks for cover. But given the key shack is made out of steel, it is very possible Zaborfan got hit in the buttocks, and Detective Tracy Angeles and Officer Stuart Guy were also injured. Zaborfan was hit at his hip, and then another was hit at his hip, in which it exited out his butthole. Butthole. And well, after that, he called backup, and well, he was severely injured. He was bleeding. He was bleeding. And well, more shots came, and immediately Zaborovan was immediately rushing to a nearby dentist office, in which the dentist at the time was busy with his overdue patient, was busy trying to deal with his patients. Keep in mind, his patients were overdue. And well, immediately, the dentist, who was also a skilled medic, immediately told his assistants to get all the medical stuff, hydrogen peroxide, gauze, stuff like that. And well, Zaborovan's partner just kept watch. Zaborovan was lucky to be alive, but thankfully his partner managed to escort him to the nearby dentist office of Dr. Jorge Montes. But as for the bank robbers, well, the dye pack explodes, causing Phillips to get angry and leave the bag. But in the meanwhile, Phillips and Matasarinu are currently fighting the police officers in the surrounding areas. But eventually, they immediately turned into Archwood Street. Phillips and Matasarinu then exited the Bank of America and then returned to their still running Chevrolet Celebrity, in which before they came in, the dye packs exploded. But given most of the money were wrapped in plastic, most of their expenses were not actually ruined. They were the plastic was just covered in ink. And well, yeah, Phillips and Matasarinu left the bag of money and then immediately returned to the Celebrity. Right now, you are seeing the actual Larry Phillips fighting against the police officers, in which he hides behind an 18-wheeler truck. In the meanwhile, police officer John Caparelli is locked and loaded, ready to fight with Phillips, in which Phillips had changed his AK with a Beretta.
Hey, bank robber! Suck my fat blood!
Jesus, what? Caparelli, where did you learn that? I was patrolling the other day, and there was this kid being bullied. The kid looked like he was from Indiana, and then after he threw like some kind of snail to the bully, he literally yelled it. We're gonna get demonetized, bro. We're gonna get demonetized, bro. Okay. Wait. Yeah, we're gonna get demonetized. Aside from the Stranger Things reference, Phillips and Caparelli began to hold a gunfight, in which Phillips, well, after Caparelli fired several shots, he hit Phillips in the wrist, causing Phillips to fall. And that's when Phillips... Yeah, don't do this. Phillips then dropped dead onto the floor, and given the police were still skeptical about what's gonna happen, they started firing pepper shots at him. And in the meanwhile, Matasarinu is still on the run. Right now, he is still running, hijacking a car as soon as possible. He tries to do so, but unfortunately, he fails on his first hijack attempt. Successfully, he managed to hijack a Ford pickup truck, but it was an old one. But right now, he transfers everything into the Ford pickup truck, but fails as the owner killed the switch. Right now, the battle begins. Emil Matasarinu versus the cops. It is happening. By that time, SWAT teams have already arrived, in which they also had their own Bushmasters and their own Kevlar vest and headgear. Now the Battle of Archwood Street was going to begin, and it was wowee. I cannot explain. This is something like Rush Hour 4. Think of Rush Hour 4, but way more cooler. I'll just tell you, and I will let the recreational scenes happen while I'm narrating, while I'm explaining. Right now, the battle of Emil Matasareanu versus the SWAT team begins. As the SWAT team begins to open fire at Matasareanu's direction, there, Matasareanu returns fire, and so do the SWAT team. But, well, given there were only 3 SWAT team members at the time, Matasareanu's legs began to fail as they were unprotected. The SWAT team continued to open fire at Matasareanu, and well, unfortunately, the 29th shot came. Hitting a major artery in Matasareanu. The SWAT team then apprehended him.
One is on Archwood and Agnes, and one is on Archwood between Radford and Hines. Those 2 suspects are in
But unfortunately, due to the wounds, Matasareanu unfortunately died from blood loss. And that was it. The reason was found out after the police raided the shooter's house, in which both Emil and Larry, or should I say Matasareanu and Phillips, owned a copy of the movie Heat, in which the plot was very similar to their violent shootout. So yes, you have watched the North Hollywood Shootout. And as always, we say good night, good luck, and good morrow. And thanks for watching Disasters of Yesteryear, Season 3, Episode 5.